You know, I keep hearing about how qualified and talented and competent and spectacular Fani Willis is as a legal mind. The left keeps touting her as a woman that should not be trifled with, as a real tough gal, but most importantly, a serious legal mind to contend with. But if Fani Willis really was this incredible legal mind, if she was so incredibly calculated and competent, why is it that her attempted defense against these allegations of corruption relating to her inappropriate relationship and involvement with Nathan Wade, why is it that her defense is such an absolute abysmal joke? Well, probably because she's more of an entitled brat than she is a talented prosecutor. The disastrous Fani Willis saga continues. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so we've been covering this Fani Willis saga. We've covered every single defense. It started off with me and Nathan Wade were never in a relationship. Then it went to we were in a relationship, but it only started after I had already selected him as a prosecutor. And when all of that was debunked and cell phone location data proved that the booty calls had started back in 2021, Fani Willis brought in her father to defend her. I mean, real strong evidence presented. Her father took the stand and said, "I don't know who Nathan Wade is." Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. Her dad didn't know about her secret lover boy, therefore I guess it never happened. Then of course there was the claim of casual racism. There was only a focus on Nathan Wade because evil white MAGA racists. Then Fani Willis told us that actually, cell phone data which she relies upon to lock up violent criminals cannot be trusted. This data has no evidentiary value, she claimed. She continues to move the goalpost. Then she released her private schedule for dates that were totally unrelated to the booty calls. Back in 2021, she claimed it was an alibi. It clearly wasn't. Idiotic defense after idiotic defense, and then today, a witness takes to the stand, making comments on his knowledge of Fani Willis's relationship with Nathan Wade. And well, it was pretty much the train wreck that you might have expected.
When you told me that it started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton, where did you gain that knowledge from?
Well, I'm going to object because his testimony a few minutes ago is that he did not recall making that statement.
All right, I'll overrule that. Mr. Bradley, answer the question if you can.
Repeat the question.
When you told me that their relationship started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton, where did you obtain that knowledge from?
I was speculating. I didn't have a no one told me I was speculating.
No one told you that?
No one told me that.
You were speculating based on things that had been told to you or things you had observed?
So I'm going to object as to the nature of this line of questioning because the witness has made it clear he was speculating as to how or what he knew. And if it's speculation, it's inadmissible for this court.
All right, but the motivations for his reason for speculating would be admissible, so I'll overrule that.
Thank you, Judge. Was this speculation, when you told me that, was that based on things that had been told to you and things that you had witnessed?
I never witnessed anything. So, it was speculation. I can't tell you anything specific, if that's what you're asking.
You can't tell me anything specific as to why you speculated about that?
No, this was however many years ago. I mean, I don't recall, but no, I don't.
Did you have any reason to lie?
I don't know if speculation is lying, but
Well, let me just show me where in this text it says you're speculating.
You didn't ask me if I was speculating or guessing.
I didn't ask you, but tell me if it says anywhere here that
No,
this is speculation.
If this is the same one that you just showed me, it does not.
And you're welcome if you need to look at your text. Is there anywhere in here that indicates that you didn't have knowledge of this relationship?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. The line of questioning Your Honor directed counsel to explore is where he got the knowledge. He's explored that. He said it's speculation, and he didn't get it from any source other than his own speculation.
Sure.
So
I think we're fleshing that out, and I think it's her right to have a little leeway on this if he's an adverse witness.
quote, "I was speculating. Well, I guess I'm now convinced. Bring in this new witness to really clarify the record, to clear it all up." But obviously his testimony wasn't exactly helpful to their case. He couldn't say anything specific and he was merely speculating. Not exactly sure what that accomplished, but I do remember Democrats being really excited about this guy taking the stand as if he was going to completely exonerate Nathan Wade and Fani Willis. But during the course of his testimony, Democrats went from sunny sunshine Mr. Incredible to dark and despair Mr. Incredible. That slow realization, that transition, as the testimony continued. Then of course at the end of the day we landed here. NBC hacks say that Nathan Wade, divorce attorney, was clearly an adverse witness. In Fani Willis' disqualification hearing, Greg Bluestein from Atlanta Journal-Constitution says disqualification will be a, quote, death sentence for this case.
Joining me in studio is NBC News legal analyst Catherine Christian. She's also a former Manhattan Assistant District Attorney. Catherine, you've been listening. What is your take so far of Terrence Bradley as a witness?
Well, he is clearly an adverse witness. He is there not wanting to answer questions, being a little evasive. I call it the I don't recall. Usually you'll hear when you're doing a cross-examination of a witness who is not friendly. What I also find that it took a half hour for Ms. Merchant to ask the money shot. What did Nathan Wade tell you about the relationship? That was the most important question. It took her a half hour to get to that. But he clearly, it's like pulling teeth to get him to answer her questions. And the judge rightly said he's an adverse witness.
This guy was supposed to exonerate Fani Willis, but now instead NBC News is calling him an adverse witness. One of their analysts, Catherine Christian, also chiming in, suggesting that Mr. Bradley's constant use of the I do not recall response could be the hallmark sign of someone who doesn't want to answer the question that they're currently being asked, and essentially acknowledging that Mrs. Willis and Mr. Wade likely committed perjury and also violated professional rules of conduct.
And I believe the answer was a version of either I don't recall or he doesn't recall or maybe. So how does that look for Terrence Bradley as a witness?
It doesn't look good. It's sort of, I think that's a question that any person can answer. You know, do you lie about your friends? And most people would say no. Or if they have, they probably won't want to admit it. But it's his I don't recalls are sort of the hallmark of someone who doesn't really want to answer the questions that are asked, and because it might hurt him. And that's her own fault. This was bad judgment and an unforced error. She can't blame anyone else but herself if it ends up that she is disqualified.
And so the train wreck Fani Willis defense continues to be exactly that, an unmitigated disaster, a fiery wreck that you simply can't take your eyes off of. I mean, the last update was horribly embarrassing. Fani Willis suggesting that she had an alibi, yet she got all the dates wrong. Totally embarrassing, everything backfiring, but most importantly, everything seems to be pointing to one final conclusion, and that's that Fani Willis's defense is not stacking up, and clearly at this point there's way too much evidence suggesting wrongdoing. In other words, this whole thing's about to wrap up. Fani Willis is absolutely done. That's what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.